What's up, my guys? Back at it again with another trade recap. I know that you guys have really been enjoying these trade recaps. That way you guys can see my day in and day out as a trader, not an entertainment, just purely education. So you guys can see exactly how my trading journey is going. And of course, all these trades are called in the signal room, just so you guys can have full transparency of what goes on in there. But let's get right into it so that we can go ahead and review these trades so that you guys can learn how to find setups just like this on your own time. So let's get into it. First trade that we're going to go over is going to be gold. Gold over here was sitting pretty. When we came to the markets were kind of looking like this. Price did come down and start to retest this structure point here. Let's go up to the hourly time frame so I can break down these setups for you. Number one thing that I noticed on gold was that we had a structured level here sitting right over here that price might want to come down to and retest. Now price decided to have a small range sitting over here, this level of support, this level of resistance sitting over here. If you notice, price has that resistance being created there, then price pushes down. Now we did have a smaller level sitting right over here, which is this area here, making this very small just to get all these reactions. Now we're going to go down to a 30-minute time frame. On the 30-minute time frame, I noticed that price was showing me signs of weakness to the downside once we had these weak candles over here. So we started to get that weakness in that candle, and then we wanted to see if price can come down. I wasn't thinking buys for the day. I was thinking mostly sells, but we needed this area here to tap into if I wanted to look for buys. I was looking for buys above these highs as well. I was going to take sells, but if you're noticing, this is how I had my chart marked up. We had no trade range sitting over here, no trade range. We had risky sells. But remember, guys, when you are in risky sells, there's two things that can happen. Price is going to hit that risky sell level and then bounce at that level that we are looking to target for risky sells, or price is going to rip down into safe sells. So right over here will be safe sells, and then we have safe buys coming up into this range sitting over here. So now all we really needed to do was wait and see if price wanted to confirm these levels and then look for clues at our certain levels here. So price did come down. Notice how we came down. No confirmations here for me to take a position. I really needed some sort of closure and then the break of the lows to take a position, but we never really got that. We started to come down into safe sell area, but this is when I wanted to go down to the 15-minute time frame. On the 15-minute time frame, we did close below here, but one thing that I noticed was we didn't have a top wick on this 15-minute candle. So if we didn't have a top wick on the 15-minute candle, we have to start thinking about buys, right? Because if price closes with no top wick, there's a chance that price is going to come back up and create that top wick. It'll come back up because price never had that range created to the upside. So now I went down to the 3-minute time frame, and on the 3-minute time frame, I started to see this. This was the clean indication that price wants to start coming back up. And then with this candle here, I knew that I needed to start looking for entries. So we executed the position right there. Price decided to come back up into this range. So once we started to trade above that zone right there, I had a feeling that we were going to come back down potentially and form a level of support at that previous support. So now all I did was wait for price to come back up. And now price, as you guys can see, just rips all the way up to TP1. At this point, we moved our stops to break even. The reason why you want to move your stops to break even on a position like this as fast as possible is because it's just a retracement of the move. We understand that price has picked its direction for the day, which is coming down over here, but we are trying to catch a retracement of the move. So then all I did was look to catch a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio on this trade, which was sitting right here. Previous level of support was my target for this trade, and then I would be completely out of this trade, leaving just small runners. Price started to form a little reaction at that level, but I wasn't too worried about it. If you're looking at it on the 15-minute time frame, look at how clean this freaking time frame looks. We have a bullish engulfing close. We're starting to break that SMA, so I'm looking pretty nice here to target our 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. And then at that point, I closed 80% of my position. I left the rest running to, so if you notice, closing most here, and leaving runners. It could possibly tap back into 23.18. That's when I decided to close my full position, which 23.18 wasn't a big move from that point, but we decided to close our full position once price tapped into that zone right there. So now we have that level of resistance that we can definitely look to retrace at. So at this point, we closed our full position, which I was super happy that we closed our full position at this very moment, just due to the fact that if you notice, price starts to show weakness, right? Weakness at this previous level, weakness around this area here, which this is lower high structure. This is lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So we are clearly coming down here. And if we cannot break lower high structure here, more times than not, what you're going to see is price is going to come back down and create a new low. So that's what I was thinking when we did tap into 23.18 for me to close my full position. Close the full position right there, and then look at what happens right after. Price starts to give you that reversal confirmation, right? Confirmation that price doesn't want to continue going up. It possibly wants to come down and break lows. So boom, broke the lows just to continue the market structure. This is why you guys have to move your stops to break even on setups like this. You want to move your stops to break even as soon as possible. You want to take your profits as soon as possible, and you want to leave some runners to a certain level that market structure doesn't need to break in order for you to hit it. Okay, so market structure would need to break would be possibly somewhere up here or targeting somewhere up here. That would be a no-go for me. I'll be looking to catch a move that comes up, taps into this area, doesn't necessarily need to break market structure and completely reverse market structure, but I still get the most out of this move. So we closed our full position at a 1-to-4 risk reward ratio, or about a 1-to-3.6 risk reward ratio. So that puts us up a bag on the week. We moved on. I closed most of my position at a 1-to-3, so we're going to call that one a 1-to-3 risk reward ratio. If you guys do want to learn how to catch trades just like me, all you guys have to do is join the Smart Dollar Concepts mentorship program, which is literally coming out in less than a week. We're going to be starting classes on Monday. You're going to have a 4-week class with me. You're going to be in the Discord community for life. You're going to have my full Smart Dollar Concept course that I just finished. So you guys will have the A through Z to learn how to trade and learn how to catch setups. You guys see the results. You guys know what I bring to the table. All you guys have to do is just DM me bootcamp and I'll get you guys a seat today. But let's hop into the next trade. And then we moved on to Euro JPY. Euro JPY was an absolute banger too. We came to the markets. I was on the 1-hour time frame. On the 1-hour time frame, I noticed that price had a small range sitting from here, this level right over here, and we had a resistance level sitting right here. So where we can clearly see that if price starts to break up above this zone, we tend to get a nice push. If price starts to stay below that zone, we tend to get a push to the downside. So I was really looking for buys above here and sells below here. Now this is when I started to go down to the lower time frames, but I had my chart set up just like this. So we had no trade range, we had safe buys because the overall bias is with the trend, so this will be safe. And then we have a risky sells below these lows, risky sells below these lows, and then we were just waiting for the breakout. So we went down to the 30-minute time frame. On the 30-minute time frame, we looked to execute on the 5-minute time frame. Once we got this confirmation right over here, this is the confirmation that I needed to see. So that's when I went down to the lower time frames and started to see how could I execute this position in the best way possible. So what I did was I waited for price to come up, give me that 30-minute confirmation. With that 30-minute confirmation, now you can go down to lower time frames, right, to get your entry. So we executed the position sitting right over here. Stop loss went right below this low, and then we were looking to target a 1-to-2 on this position. Unfortunately, it didn't get there, but we did hit our stops to break even. If you guys don't know, I moved my stops to break even on every single one of my positions at a 1-to-1, no matter what risk to reward I'm going for. Unfortunately, it did hit our stops to break even point. We moved that stops to break even, and price decided to come down for a break even trade. So still up about 3 RR on the day, didn't take a loss. This is how you guys prevent your psychology from going bad. You want to make sure that you are actually taking setups and making sure that you are following your rules for every single setup, because you can't be mad at a break-even trade. I see so many traders out there mad at break-even trades when they could have lost on that position, because if I didn't move my stops to break even on this position, I most likely would have lost that position, and I don't feel that that is the best thing I can possibly do as a trader. I can protect my capital, protect the profits I had already made, and then moving those stops to break even and feeling extremely happy about it. We killed it. This is a winning trade for me, honestly. A break-even trade is a winning trade. So make sure you guys understand that and then move on to the next trade. So we did take one more trade. It was on US 30 over here, and then when we came to the markets were looking something like this. So this was something that I call a overreaction in the market. This is when the market just decides to print either bullish candles all in a row or bearish candles all in a row. You guys know me. When I'm trading indices, I like to look at the lower time frames. I like to really execute based off the lower time frames. But this was a pretty simple trade. We came down, price decides to come down and start to come into my zone. This was my level of interest for today. This whole area here. If I can come down and tap into this area here, I'm looking for potential buy positions because I know that the market needs to retrace just a little bit. So this is when I went down to the 3-minute time frame. The 3-minute time frame, you can start seeing some sort of level of weakness here. this level of weakness, we start to tap into my zone. That is when I realized that if we come back up to this area here, I'm going to look for buy positions. So then we started to range here. This is exactly what I was looking for. This small little range, I'm looking to take a breakout from it. So I executed my position at the break of those highs, right there. We executed the position. I kept stops right below these lows over here. Kept stops right below these lows, and then I was looking to target just my 1 to 2 on this position. But honestly, I started not to like how price was moving. It was just starting to move a little bit slow once I entered this position, and then we got this after this candle here. It seemed like volume started to die, so I let the chat know. I told the chat, hey guys, very little low risk. We also didn't like the trade from the beginning. I will be out at break even if it taps there. I'm letting my signal room know exactly when we're getting in, when we're getting out, when we're moving our stops to break even, when we're leaving runners, everything that they need to know in order to become profitable. That's what I'm telling them. So as you guys can see, price then eventually does come back down and tap our break even point, unfortunately, and we move on to the next trade. So shout out to my freaking coach in that group. Shout out to him. He's been freaking killing it. I've been killing it. Everybody in that chat's been killing it. So if you guys are in that chat, you guys will see it, bro. This is like on a regular basis. Price eventually does come back down and tap us out at break even, unfortunately. So 2 break even trades, 1 to 3 setups. So I'm not mad at all, bro. We're up 3 R on the day. We're up 8.7 R on the week, and I've broken down each and every trade that we have taken this week. So just go back and watch the trade recaps. You guys can definitely learn a lot from them. But these were just a little bit riskier trades. That's why we moved our stops to break even. This one was extremely risky just due to the fact that, we had that level, but that level is such a minor level. Price did come back down. We moved our stops to break even. We were happy. Then Euro JPY just hit my 1-to-1, so it's automatically going to break even. But the banger of the day was definitely gold over here with that fake out to the safe sells. Price comes back into the range. We start to form we start to trade within this range here, which is giving me confidence. Execution point right there. We start to break lower high structure, start to break market structure to push up, but we don't get greedy with the position. We close our full position at 23.18, which is a sniper freaking close, honestly. And the fact that we called it to a T like that too for the chat, dude, they're eating with us too. We literally said it could tap into 23.18 if you guys want to hold your full positions, or if you guys want to close your runner at that level, which we definitely closed our runner, and price decides to just reject and continue that market structure to the downside. But I really hope you guys learned something. If you guys have any questions, just make sure you guys comment. I appreciate all the support. I know that you guys are really enjoying these videos. Even we don't get a ton of views, I'm not doing it for the views. I'm doing it for the knowledge, doing it for the education, so that you guys can learn from me and be able to catch setups like this with the same confluences, same confirmations, same everything, just so you guys can become better traders overall. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, bro. I really do, bro. You guys keep me motivated. You guys keep me going, man. And I appreciate you guys. Let's keep it going.